you know, you've got 3 or 4 programmers. I mean, we're not designing it not to scale to bigger teams.
Yes.
But the point being, if you have like 3 or 4 programmers and they're all highly productive people, you should be able to make, you know, I don't know what percentage of the software that you hear about in the world, but a large percentage of it. Because a lot of this software really isn't actually that complicated, especially if you're building on stuff that's come before and all these algorithms have been figured out. You don't have to figure them out. You just have to type things in sometimes. And so
that philosophy is very similar to Clojure, of sort of a totally different language, different audience entirely. But also Clojure has this goal to help a small number of high-skilled programmers be extraordinarily productive.
And where that comes into play concretely in language design is, for example, you'll talk to somebody about a design of some other language and you'll, I don't know, maybe Java, maybe something else, and you ask like, why is this feature chosen to be this way? And they say, well, if you don't do that,
the programmers are going to screw up, right?
When the junior programmer comes onto the team, he's going to like cause very bad things to happen and it'll be a great deal of damage and whatever. And I'm just like, that's fine. That's like defensive, some kind of defensive language design that affects many languages. And the way that I think about that, it's equivalent, say you're trying to be a chef. You're trying to be a really good chef, right? But the guy who designs the machines at McDonald's comes in and says, no, the way this works is you push the button and it cooks the fries for 1 minute, because that way you can hire someone from high school and they can make all the food. And it's like, okay, that's an interesting problem to solve, maybe. But that shouldn't be every programming language, first of all. And then secondly, we should have an awareness that there's different kinds of programming, right? Just like there's different kinds of driving. Like if you're a Formula One driver, you're not doing what I do to drive here to this hotel. It's a different thing. With programming, it's also a different thing. And I think we should, you know, acknowledge that. And try
have
to
languages for high-skill people. Who have a lot of experience in industry, and they want the tools. They are the
Which,
chefs.
by the way, as soon as you say something like that, some people get very reactive. Like, are you saying not all programmers are equally good? Yes, but
fact.
Hard fact. That doesn't have to be like a conceited thing or a bragging thing.
No,
it's an observation about the world.
Exactly.
Like, I played tennis when I was a kid. I'm not a good tennis player. I don't want to play Bjorn.
We are not all equally good at all things.
No, and on the other hand, if somebody spends 10 hours a day for 30 years doing something, you expect them to be very good. And this is obvious and natural, and we shouldn't like ignore that culturally.
I think so. I think you're exactly